Hey, this is Stuart. I want to take you back to the early 2000s. Super Smash Bros. Melee has been released on the GameCube. In it, you're introduced to a wide selection of iconic characters. You got Mario, Link, Pikachu, Peach, Donkey Kong. You're having a fun time, and eventually you unlock some secret characters. There's Jigglypuff, the Pokemon in the anime that sings and draws on people. You see Luigi with his silly entrance in adventure mode. Oh hey, it's Falco, that guy from Star Fox. Now, these are all really cool, but... Marth? Fire Emblem. Alright, he's got a sword. Pretty fast, but no English voice. You start playing as him, and you eventually unlock another character, Roy. The same series, but who are these two? I've never seen these guys. Now this thought is what echoed many gamers outside of Japan for years. Many to this day believe that Melee was Fire Emblem's first introduction to the West. While this may be true for Roy, Marth, however, is a different story. While starting as a newcomer in Melee, he actually was considered to be playable in the original Smash Bros. This source is from the Fire Emblem 25th Anniversary booklet. The director himself, Masahiro Sakurai, stated, "I wanted to include Marth in the original Smash Bros. Game. For character diversity, I did want more variation in terms of sword-wielding characters. A swordsman who relied more on technique would be a lot of fun." Now this is obviously paraphrasing it. Credit to Source Gaming for translating the entire interview. There's a link provided for the full article below. Roy was first introduced in Melee before his standalone game, Fire Emblem The Binding Blade. Fast forwarding to the future, Lucas in Smash Bros. Brawl is from a Japanese-only game called Mother 3. Corrin would appear in Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS before his North American debut in the Fire Emblem series. It's kinda cool that Smash Bros. Can be an introduction to many characters that we're not familiar with. Why I mention this is because Melee was released late 2001 in North America. It wasn't until November 3rd, 2003, when Fire Emblem was brought over to the West on the Game Boy Advance. But neither Marth or Roy were in it. Instead, it starred Roy's father, Eliwood.
What's happened to Dorcas?
I put poison in his mum.
Build an army. Trust nobody. Fire Emblem. Only on Game Boy Advance. Rated everyone. Game Boy.
With the Nintendo Switch Online expansion, you can have access to this game. Oh hey, it's Lynn. She'd later be introduced as an assist trophy in Brawl and onwards. Smash Bros. Would later include many more characters from the Fire Emblem franchise.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Star Wars! Star Wars! What? Star Wars!
You might be asking, okay Stuart, this is some neat info, but where's the Biggie Cheese? If Melee wasn't the first appearance for Marth in the West, what was? Let me introduce you to the Fire Emblem OVA. I don't have a VHS player. Luckily, you can easily find this on YouTube and other websites. Based off the third game in the series, Mystery of the Emblem, this OVA consists of 2 episodes, which only goes over the first 3 chapters. It shows promise of an ongoing story, but it ends with a wet fart. Produced by the studio KSS and Studio Fantasia, it aired in Japan from January to April of 1996. In North America, ADV Films would release the series on VHS in 1998. Well, the wiki says 97, but my copy, along with the others on eBay, say otherwise. While researching, I googled ADV Films, and the first result to pop up is this unsecured website. This website wants you to fill out your info before going in. The background really feels like one of those early 2000s logos that were overly 3D, like the Pepsi logo, or the North American box art to Eco. I ended up stopping here. I didn't continue, just in case anyone was wondering. I wanted to take a look at the VHS box. One thing that stands out is the sword Marth is wielding. This is known as the falchion, the most iconic weapon in the Fire Emblem series. In this, however, he never wields it. Instead, he just uses a basic iron sword. This is kinda lame. The subtitle states the forces of evil are in serious trouble, but they only fight pirates, which are like mincemeat compared to the real threat, Garneth. One other detail that stands out is Seda, being the one displayed on the spine instead of Marth. My personal reason is that this is the most impressive artwork. A good close-up, well-drawn, feeling of hope and determination for a brighter tomorrow. It feels like that's what you can expect when tuning in. In my last video, I was lucky and got to spend time with 4 characters. Even though this is only 2 episodes, these games are known for very large rosters. The characters with the most focus are Marth, Seda, Ugma, and Navarre. Supporting cast being Jagan, Abel, Kane, Drog, Gordon, Lady Lena, and Julian. When researching the voice actors, I've noticed most of them all work together in the same shows. Most notably, Neon Genesis Evangelion. You may recognize Marth's voice actor, Spike Spencer, as the voice of Shinji Ikari, as well as Seda's voice actress, Kim Sevier, voices Yu Ikari. Jagan's voice actor, John Swayze. Wow, this is a lineup. You got Hohenheim for starters. That's phenomenal. All for One, Dodoria, Lord Death, the elephant from Hello Kitty and Friends, Let's Learn Together. Ugma's voice actor, Rob Mungel, voices Amino Jaku from Ghost Stories. Okay, by the way, please watch the dub of that anime. It's absolutely hilarious. You may think like this is some sort of like parody or a bridge series. It's official and it's phenomenal.
There's nothing to be afraid of, Pichu. Monsters only get evil people like Republicans, and we're not old enough to vote.
Finally, Navarre's actor, Aaron Kron, voices Ryoji Kaji from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Oh hey, we've come full circle. I find it cool to see where these people end up in the entertainment industry. This makes this a piece of their early work, and, well, it shows.
Hey, you guys! There's strangers at the gate!
You killed him!
Look at my hands. Look! These hands are stained with death. What's one more murder when you've committed so many?
Let them all go! But Mars!
There's no need to go after those who fled. We have much bigger fish to fry.
What's interesting about the dub is that there's many name changes. Most notably, Marth is known as Mars, and Seda is known as Seda, the reign of the S's.
Fire Emblem. 楽しみだな。マルス、本当に会いたかったんだよ。
Storytelling in Fire Emblem, Mystery of the Emblem, is presented in text boxes and profile portraits. Other games around this time did make an effort to show off cutscenes, which were ahead of its time. Heck, even games that predated the 90s, such as Ninja Gaiden, had better presentation. Each chapter begins with a view of the world map, followed by portraits of major and minor characters talking about what's currently happening. Whether it's to save a town, get the crown, and Mr. Krabs, it's passable. I do believe the gameplay makes up for this in the visual department. However, since the OVA is an adaptation, it has more legroom to flesh out major story beats. We're told through text that Marth was a young boy when his kingdom was overtaken by Garneth and his minions. His sister sacrifices herself by casting a spell to teleport both the prince and their guard, Jagan, away to safety. Years later, Marth is exiled to the Kingdom of Talus. In the OVA, we see that he mostly keeps to himself and often daydreams about his past. In this dream, we see that Marth didn't have the heart to take the life of a deer while hunting with his father and guards.
Go on, kill it. You must finish what you've begun, my son.
I can't!
Mars! Mars!
His father, the king, attacks his own son later as a result. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not an expert when it comes to parenting or hunting, but I do have a history of deer when I lived with my dad, so I would have been furious as well. The Talus King's daughter, Princess Seda, snaps him back to reality, and there goes gravity. They spend a lovely afternoon exploring the town after illegally hitchhiking on a stranger's wagon. In the first chapter, there's not much conversation between them besides explaining that they must save her kingdom from bandits. I do like how it's more fleshed out that there's a bond between these two. After all, Marth did spend 2 years in Talus. It's obvious to assume he's familiar with some of the residents. Later in the day, Seda invites him to stay for dinner. At first, Marth agrees to, but hearing from her father's men about Garneth's forces growing stronger every day and blaming the Eurasian Knights for this tragedy, Marth realizes that he can no longer hide from this issue and heads out.
I'm, sorry. I think I'd just better leave.
Huh? Mars? Rats!
I feel bad for Seda. She wanted to cook for Marth, but didn't hear what those guys had to say about him. I think if she was there, she would have stood up to them for Marth, but it might have played out the same in my opinion. So this is where the OVA gets weird. Marth is just walking, thinking about a pebble in his shoe, and then cuts to him and the Eurasian Knights idle on the battlefield. Like, how did we get here so quickly? Where is this place? Here we see present King Cornelius, who's Marth's father. He's the one who wields the falchion. Again, that sword on the VHS.
What black magic is this? Only Kadeen wields such power.
Correct. I am the supreme priest of Kadeen, God.
He's apparently the Dragon of Darkness's pet demon.
So you are the Dragon of Darkness's pet demon!
We then prepare for an epic fight.
Taste the sacred steel of Falcion!
Oh, brave words. It's really such a pity that I don't have the time to kill you all slowly. And now you die.
It's going to be quite a different place with him gone, that's for true.
This is the last time we see Garneth. It's strange how he doesn't have a bigger on-screen impact besides this one scene. You know, with how powerful he is, I wonder if he can handle the Femur Breaker. Marth, Jagan, and the rest of the Eurasian Knights are discussing their next course of action.
This may be our last chance. We cannot allow Orleans to fall. The future freedom of the entire world is at stake.
Oh? My lords!
What is it?
It's Talus! The city's on fire!
On fire?
In comes Seda. She tells him about pirates attacking the kingdom along with kidnapping her father.
The pirates! The pirates of Galda have attacked and set fire to the entire city!
What?
I didn't know what to do, so I came here!
Now pull yourself together, Sheeta!
I really do like this scene. Marth's surrounded by his troops, his mind is made up to finally fight back. I do like the speech. They don't feel like underdogs, more like sleeping giants.
We must repay the debt that we owe to the King of Talus. The time has come to fight for freedom!
Guys, Coach is right! If you want to win this, it's on us!
Shut the fuck up!
One big difference up front is that this whole scene takes place at night, while in the game it's during the day. In my opinion, it's visually better. Having a town go up in flames at night, a time when most people are asleep, is more terrifying. Heck, one of the most iconic scenes in video games does the same thing. In the game, obviously, you choose who you want to control and make your way across the map. Here, you can see the action up front. Everyone gets a chance to shine, and I do enjoy these extra moments.
Your Highness!
Prince Maz, forget about me. Sheeta, protect Sheeta for me.
Okay, so this is bad play from a gameplay perspective. Sure, Seda comes in to save her father, but the main boss of the chapter, Gazak, weapon-wise, easily wins. Alright, let me explain. In the series, there's 3 main weapons: swords, lances, and axes. Axes beat lances, lances beat swords, and swords beat axes. Seda is a Pegasus class who wields a lance. Gazak is a pirate who's an axe wielder. Rock, paper, scissors, you get the idea. Luckily, Marth comes in to save the day, and...
Don't move.
Okay, I guess Ugma comes in to save the day.
I'm sorry to have returned so late, my princess.
Oh, it can't be.
After Chapter 1, the king orders Ugma and his men to aid you in your journey. I prefer this adaptation. It makes me feel like in the game, he was also kidnapped with the king, and I felt less confident in having him. Like, you know, here's some dinner scraps. I get it, there's more strengths in numbers, but what does this guy have to offer? In here, we see firsthand of what he's capable of.
Find allies. colleagues who will fight beside you.
Aye.
I'm not sure why, but Seda chooses to stay behind. Her father asks why she didn't see them off, only to have her end up coming along for the ride. I kind of wish this was explained better, but whatever. The scene's very heartwarming. At first, everyone on board is moaning and groaning. Now they have someone like Seda to brighten up their spirits. Now you see this shot right here? That's on the spine of the VHS, see? See, this purchase wasn't a waste after all, huh? The second episode is a prologue to Chapter 3. Here we meet Navarre, who's cutting down mercenaries like they're nothing. This bandit leader watches from afar, impressed by his actions, offers him to join their group. Initially, Navarre does decline, until he meets their prisoner, Lady Lena.
Hey! Sure you won't join?
Something inside him changes his mind.
I've changed my mind.
What that is, we'll find out later. Skipping ahead to Chapter 3, we already see Navarre as a member of the bandits. More on that later as well. Enter the town of Garuda, which is being overtaken by bandits. This is where Chapter 2 takes place.
Hey, you guys! There's strangers at the gate!
Hey, where do you scallywags think you're going? If you want to pass through here, you got to pay the toll. And if you don't have money, we'll gladly take your life.
Just like the first episode, we do see most of our heroes get their own chance to shine, which again, I do like. Abel and Cain taking on the toll trolls, Drog breaking into houses to free the villagers, Ugma being the only thing in the budget worth animating in a battle.
That's enough, Gordon! Let them go!
Let them all go! But Mars!
There's no need to go after those who fled. We have much bigger fish to fry.
The village elder thanks the Eurasian knights and offers them a place to stay for the night.
We haven't much to offer you, but if you'll accept our hospitality...
We will, sir, and gladly. My soldiers are tired. Many have not slept since we left Talus.
Every woman that smiles at Marth is a demon in Seda's eyes. Like, come on. She thought she was gonna die. At least let her be thankful to you guys. In the series, certain characters can be talked to by the right people and be convinced to join your side. In this case, it's Seda. Navarre's reasoning for joining the bandits in the game is to follow the strongest. Since Seda risked her life to make it past the enemy line to talk to him, proves her strength, and thus he joins you. So maybe his reasoning for joining the bandits is simply to gain their trust and free Lady Lena, so that no other woman has to endure the same fate as his loved one. It's a few seconds, but I do think that's interesting. Here we meet Julius, a member of the bandits. He's the one responsible for helping Lady Lena escape, who we see both of them at the beginning of Chapter 3. But now let's get back to our heroes. It's not much, but I do enjoy this downtime with the side characters. Getting to see them interact is a lot better than having them as blank slates. The village elder informs Marth and Jagan about Lady Lena's kidnapping and asks them to free her.
So, let me see. You want us to rescue this priestess, Sister Lena, from the bandits of the Mountain Pass?
Yes, in the dark hours while those cursed pirates held our city, Sister Lena was the only hope we could hold on to. Is there any chance you would consider rescuing her?
We'll try, sir.
Seda proceeds to stomp her feet, being not jealous over another woman in Marth's presence.
Princess Sheeta, you really shouldn't worry about them.
But Oguma, that girl is in there. How could I not be worried?
While our true hero, Ugma, remembers his epic backstory.
promised me.
And so Ugma proceeded to not die. Julius and Lady Lena make their escape, but uh-oh, Lena forgot her healing staff.
I can't leave my staff of healing behind. Please, Julian, you must escape without me.
Well, that defeats the purpose of why Julius is doing this. As they talk, Navarre and his men are on their tail. Gasp! Well, starting Chapter 3, you have the option to recruit Navarre immediately with Seda, and then take out the bandits. Here, Navarre just takes them out himself, tells Julius and Lena to escape, but the next scene, Lena is brought back by Navarre, and Julius is left to die. Like, what happened?
Is that you, Sister Lena?
Luckily, his wounds were treated in time by Seda.
Where am I? Oh, please, sir. I must appeal to your sense of chivalry. Sister Lena is being held by bandits. Can you rescue her?
Do you know where Sister Lena is being held?
I know where the bandits' hideout is. Please help me.
All right, if you'll be our guide.
With this information, Marth and the Eurasian Knights fight for Lady Lena's safe return.
Look at my hands. Look! These hands are stained with death. What's one more murder when you've committed so many? There's no turning back for me now. Not even your god can save my soul, priestess.
If you're beyond redemption, then why did you save me?
As Ugma is fighting the leader of the bandits, Navarre steps in, leading to our final battle in the series.
Allow me.
I've heard tales of a man who wields 2 crimson blades and can defeat an entire army.
While it is short, you can tell the majority of the animation went into this fight, making good use of sword swinging and shadow movement.
Stop this now! You're the one called Naval, aren't you? Why are you siding with these evil bandits?
Step back. This doesn't concern you.
First, tell me why you saved Julian and Sister Lena.
Because I felt like it.
You're lying!
You call this fighting meaningless. Are you saying that any kind of fighting can be meaningful?
Yes, it can, if your cause is truly a just one.
Interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing what it is that makes it so meaningful to you.
Naval, you traitor!
With Navarre, Julius, and Lady Lena joining the Eurasian Knights, our heroes make it to Orleans. What happens next, you might be wondering? Well, now it's your turn to play the game and find out. Oh wait, you can't! There are currently 3 versions of this adventure. The original Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, released on the Famicom in Japan in 1990, a remake/sequel, Mystery of the Emblem, which is what this OVA is based on, was released on the Super Famicom in Japan in 1994, And finally, Shadow Dragon DS, in Japan in 2008 and 2009 in North America. On October 22nd, 2020, Nintendo announced a re-release of Shadow Dragon on Famicom to the Nintendo Switch eShop for the 30th anniversary, releasing December 4th of that same year. This was the first time fans outside of Japan could finally play this game officially. It was also revealed that it was supposed to be a timed release. March 31st, 2021 was when Nintendo would pull this digital-only game from the eShop. Luckily, I do have my copy on my Switch. But for people finding this out right now, well, tough luck, says Nintendo. Mystery of the Emblem on the Super Famicom never had an official localization outside of Japan. I used a friend's copy on their Retron 5 console to play and record gameplay footage. Your best bet now is Shadow Dragon on DS. The problem is, you'll either have to find a good price on eBay, or find a Wii U with the game installed on it, because Nintendo closed the Wii U eShop back in March of this year. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. In conclusion, I feel that this was a pretty good adaptation of the source material. A good number of things, such as more character interaction and better use of Ugma, really made the story more fleshed out than its game counterpart. You'll be able to watch both episodes for free on YouTube and other websites with a quick search. For the game, yes, it is harder to find a copy, but I think it's worth seeking out if you're truly interested. Sometimes, it's not about what's morally right when getting a game that's not easily available. Sometimes it's just about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets, baby. Come on, baby. Love the Mets, baby. Let's get a home run, baby. Love the Mets.